Hey everyone, talking about 1900 L'air de Proust by Bains Guerbois. And this has notes of bergamot, blueberry, grapefruit, violet, black tea, Tuscan leather, mate, I think that's how you pronounce it, gaiac wood, praline, vanilla, and amber. So I was really curious about that because that's quite a unique mix of notes there. As I've mentioned in another recent video, you rarely see blueberry. Of course, now I do practically 2 videos in a row about ones with blueberry, but it is extremely rare, at least in unisex or masculine leaning. And this is not masculine leaning, but it is unisex. So when this opens, I get really tart bergamot and grapefruit, as well as blueberry, and the violet's kind of coming in a way that just sort of accents the blueberry, not that noticeable on its own. I also get the black tea right away. And it reminds me a bit of Floraiku, One Umbrella for Two, and I saw some other people on Fragrantica making the same comparison. There's also a hint of like Byredo, Mixed Emotions, but closer to the Floraiku one, just in the opening and maybe like the first, 45 minutes or so before it really gets more into the dry down. It does smell similar, so if you smelled that one, you kind of have a bit of a reference for this. As it continues, I don't get a lot of leather. I was hoping this would be like some really cool fragrance that was like leather and blueberry and this and that, but it stays for a while as the kind of opening notes, and then when the leather does come in, to me it's more of a memo style leather, like a bit greasy sort of, which isn't my favorite kind of leather. I really like memo fragrances, but that's just not really, like say like Italian leather by Memo, that's not really my type of fragrance to wear. And then when the mate, or however you say it, comes in from the base, it's super herbal accord, but it still keeps that earlier kind of sweet freshness, especially as the vanilla comes in, some toasted gaiac woods. This goes for $205 for a 100 milliliter. On one hand, you could say that's not overpriced because, if it smells like Floraiku, One Umbrella for Two, that is absurdly expensive. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's well over $300 for a smaller thing than 100 ml, I believe. On the other hand, this doesn't smell that expensive to me. And if I love a fragrance, I don't need it to smell expensive by any means. I just want it to smell good. But for something that's like this, where there are other fragrances out there that smell like that, like it's not mind-blowingly unique, despite how the notes kind of made me think it might be, I just don't really think $205 is justified. There's also a part of it that kind of smells like a cheapie a little bit to me, not so much in terms of quality, but like the kind of notes used, like the way the blueberry, violet, and tart citrus kind of go with it, and then the sort of vanilla woods and the dry down. It feels, I think anybody of any age absolutely could wear it, but it makes me think of a more stereotypical kind of cheaper perfume that would be marketed towards teenagers, and I am not critiquing those kinds, but again, that would not cost $205. So I'd recommend checking this out if you really like fruity notes as well as black tea and kind of herbal aromatic accords. This might be a really big hit for you in that case. You can get a sample for $5. I'll put the link in the description where you can get a bottle or a sample. I would recommend sampling it first. I don't feel like the way it smells also goes with Le Bains Guerbois. Roxotonic, to me, with the other one I've tried of theirs, smells a lot more refined and niche and stuff, and this just, I would picture it more like Bath and Body Works or something almost. And again, I don't mean that it's not higher quality than that, but just the scent profile itself. So I don't think this is going to change many minds if you don't already really like these notes. And I'm not a big fan of black tea. I really like green tea. I like white tea. Black tea is not for me. So overall, this just isn't something that's to my taste. But it's not badly done. Just don't go in expecting something that's maybe as interesting as you might have hoped from seeing such a cool list of notes.